Palmer Library Adventures. Adventures at the Palmer Library. Palmer Library turns 80 in 2026, and we want to record stories about the library in Palmer, Alaska. This podcast series takes us on a journey from colonists collecting books to store at the United Protestant Manse to a room in the mat-made building to some garages, and even to the famous chicken coop. Along the way, we will meet different library people, librarians, patrons, researchers, authors, and others to help us learn about the history of the Palmer Library, and so much more. Each episode will bring a mix of voices and stories about the library from the past and current times. There may be some tours of other libraries and even updates about building a new library in Palmer, Alaska.
And who are you?
I'm Prudence McKenney, and I am president of the Friends of the Palmer Public Library.
And you hang out at the library?
I do hang out at the library, yes. I do have a part-time gig here.
Okay. What's this?
Right, I know. But, I was thinking about Benjamin Franklin, whose idea was the circulating library, which makes sense because the valuable thing is not the thing, right, which it was in the old libraries where you had to go and say, and you still do if you go to Oxford. I did this. You have to take an oath if you use the Bodleian Library that you will not remove or damage a book. But there it was like
it's a reference library.
Well, yeah, that's the value is the thing, right? But in America, the value is the sharing. It's the people coming in and getting to take the stuff away with them, not leaving it there and having to. I think that's huge.
And now a word or two from one of our forerunners.
This is Ben Franklin. When I began the first lending libraries in the colonies, we could only offer paper books. But your local library today features music, video, software, and thousands of brand new ideas to help you learn, grow, and become a better citizen. Many of them powered by electricity, by the way. You're welcome. You can access that internet thing and can still borrow paper books or hard copy data storage if you prefer. Your public library. Come join us.
So the Friends of the Palmer Public Library is a 501c3 nonprofit. Our only goal is to support the Palmer Library. Mostly that's in the form of financial support, donations. We do fundraising events, but we also do programming for the community. We do Saturday story times once a month. We have 4 of those coming up, starting with the animal shelter on April 16th. We have the reindeer farm, the Bab Arboretum, and the 4th one is escaping me at the moment, but there will be a flyer. We have the summer reading program coming up, which is always huge. I was at a recent meeting where we talked about all of the things that all of the friends in all of the valley are doing, and Wasilla is super proud of their 779 people for summer reading. Last year, Palmer regularly gets to that figure or exceeds it. Our new children's coordinator has been doing a fantastic job this year of getting people to come out, so we're expecting easily in excess of 500 people to participate in summer reading. Which rewards kids. We do teens, adults. There are prizes. There is a big picnic at the end. It's a whole festival. We have a percussion concert scheduled for July as an additional fundraiser. And that's our goal, is to get to the 500,000 by the time the new library opens, which we are hoping will happen in 2026.
Wow. So when you say programming, we're not talking about computer programmers.
No,
that's what you were mentioning.
Right, we're talking about community events.
Okay.
So the Saturday story times are big. The other one that the Friends have traditionally done that we lapsed was called Sundays at 2. And that was often concerts. And we did have this past February, there's an annual Matsu Orchestra event, always in mid-February this year on Super Bowl Sunday. But we still got 75 people to come out and raise $1,200.
Okay, you said something about raising money on Super Bowl. That's this year, 2024?
Yes.
Super Bowl.
Yes, the concert had been scheduled. I suspect the previous year, when people were not paying attention, they picked the whatever Sunday in February, which this year did happen to be Super Bowl Sunday. It was the Matsu Orchestra's annual event. They come out and do a fundraising concert for us every year. They're fabulous. And so this year it was Super Bowl Sunday, but we still got 1,200 people to come out. Or sorry, we got 70 people to come out. We raised $1,200, which was great.
So when everyone else is screaming and yelling at the TV,
yes,
you actually raised $1,200 with 70-some people.
Yes.
That must have happened at the depot?
Yes, it was at the depot. It was they tied the theme to going from Baroque to modern, just like the library. So they had the old library and the new library, nice, and they did a walk through classical music history, which was fabulous.
And if I was a good reporter, I would have started with, so what is your name and what do you do at the library?
I am Heidi, and I am the administrative assistant here at the
You get
library.
your fingers into all sorts of things.
My fingers are in all sorts of things. I'm the webmaster here. I wrangle if there's questions downstairs. Usually I'm one of the first people to get escalated things from downstairs to upstairs. So, yeah, I deal with technology stuff here at the library, so I usually am troubleshooting things before we send it up to our IT department. Like I said, I update the website. I work with the library services coordinator on just brainstorming ideas for programming. I kind of do a little of everything. I do whatever Beth tells me to do.
Almost a journeyman tech wizard or something.
I am some kind of wizard.
We did get some stuff about April.
We do have April. We talked about our poetry programs coming up, and we have the animal shelter story time. We do actually have still our Tuesdays, baby lap sit and story time for toddlers. That happens every Tuesday.
When and where?
That is at the train depot.
At the train depot.
10 o'clock is 0 to 2, and 11 o'clock is for 2 to 5-year-olds. And, you know, families come in, and sometimes they have some older kids. I mean, the ages that's what the ages are aimed for, but,
Right.
you know, if you have some older kids, you can bring them with. And the train depot has been an amazing place. Really, in the next letter I'm about to send you,
Yes.
talking about spaces and meeting rooms, because I didn't get to finish in my 3 minutes at council meeting, is that our numbers for those two programs, for the baby lap sit and story time, have easily doubled since we've been in the train depot. There's nothing else different about
Because
the
this
way we
library
run
is too
it.
small, so you're utilizing the train depot.
Right.
Which is, I still say, is one of the best uses of a baggage area.
Yeah,
For a train
I
baggage
completely
area, it's
agree.
not-
Completely agree. But that even counts. Our numbers have doubled since we were in the old library. When we were
Right.
in the old library, we were in the meeting room for those
Right.
programs. The numbers have doubled from even that, being in the depot, just because we have room for more families to come in. And I know that Katie was not really advertising outside of the library for those programs because we didn't have the space for it.
Right.
And now that we do, people are showing up because there's room for the kids to come in with their families and take part in our programs.
Very
We also
cool.
still have craft kits
Craft
available.
kits.
Yes.
And you can just come in and ask for a craft kit?
You can come in and ask for a craft kit. We'll give them to anybody of any age. They're really geared toward, kids. So up to about 11, 12 years old. But sometimes we stumble on a craft kit that the teenagers love. Our Valentine glitter volcano craft kit, that was gone in a couple of days because everybody wanted to do that.
Volcano and glitter, oh boy.
Oh yeah, it was a pink glittery concoction that you go home and you add some vinegar to it, and it makes a big volcano mess. People loved it. It was amazing.
Librarians getting people to be messy, oh no.
Yeah, well, there's a little science behind it. So we had a little blurb about, why it happens, the chemical reaction, and some science in there. We do like to educate a little bit when we can and just give out some information.
Well, do you guys have a favorite quote you want to read?
I always I love me some Mark Twain. And I don't think we're allowed to really read the Neil Gaiman one. So we won't do that one.
Gaiman does have some good quotes on that.
He does. Let's see, I would pick, I always,
Pick one and read it.
I love Mark Twain. Wait, that can't be. There we go. It's not Mark Twain. I was thinking that can't be right. It's Linton Weeks. In the nonstop tsunami of global information, librarians provide us with floaties and teach us to swim.
Okay, that's quite the image, which is good because it does feel like a tsunami of global information. You have one?
Actually, this one I've liked for a long time. It says, without libraries, what have we? We have no past and no future.
Who said that?
That one is Ray Bradbury.
Huh?
which Fahrenheit 451 was one of my favorite
Yes.
books in high school,
And
morbidly.
I put that when we first got our cricket at the Colony High Library, we put quotations, and that's over the door in
Oh,
the
that's
hallway
awesome.
when you go in. It's
Well, really, it's universally true.
That's-
Libraries are, I think, the last vestige of true freedom in our country.
absolutely.
And if we lose our libraries and we lose what libraries stand for, we're going to go downhill fast.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. Talk about an old person, since I guess I feel old today. A library outranks any other one thing a community can do to benefit its people. It is a never-failing spring in the desert. That was from Andrew Carnegie.
Excellent. Yes.
This episode of Palmer Library Adventures is hosted by Prudence McKenney, Heidi Deadmond, and Mayor Steve Carrington. Palmer Library Adventures is available where podcasts are found or at libraryadventures.net. You can email us at palmer@libraryadventures.net. Music is Corporate Happy Day number 113985 from Pixabay. Audio file URL http://pixabay.com/music/corporate happy day 113985. Adventures at the Library in Palmer, Alaska.